Hey guys, two things have clearly happened since last we met. One, a lot of time has passed, and two, I'm in a different location. Yeah, I thought I'd spice it up, so I bought myself a hotel. There's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of stars are getting canceled. Lots going on for actions that stars did in their past. And speaking of the past and stars, 1987, Matthew Broderick killed 2 women. But in 1998, he murdered Godzilla. Matthew, we're gonna have a problem. Yes, today we're going to be talking about the 1998 Godzilla film, the American Godzilla. A Godzilla film so bad that the Godzilla featured in it is not called Godzilla by any of the fans. He's actually called Zilla. Just fun fact of the day, they took the God out of his name because they hated him so much because of this movie. But was it really as bad as people say? Yeah, no it was. Yeah, no it was bad. It was just as bad. I know a lot of people hold a very tight emotional bond to this film, completely through nostalgia, by the way, because I've rewatched it recently. It's not good. So nuclear testing happens, yada yada yada. It mutates a lizard, not a dinosaur, like it's my favorite version is. Typically, my favorite version of Godzilla, the way I like Godzilla, is that he's either a dinosaur or he's some form of ancient being, or better yet, he's just kind of a force of nature that just kind of happened in response to humans. Anyways, so the nuclear tests mutate a lizard. It seems to be an iguana from the pre-movie fever dream that happens. Which, like, when I was a kid, that hyped me up. That really did hype me up. I was pretty excited to see this as a kid, and because it's more Godzilla, man. Like, I friggin' love Godzilla, clearly. I'm wearing the friggin' limited edition Godzilla vs. Huff stuff. Anyways, this giant lizard ends up in New York City. Tokyo wouldn't have this, you know? It's not good enough for Tokyo. Then they bring in the serial killer, what's his name? Matthew Broderick, as a guy named Nick. I'm just gonna call him that because it's a running gag throughout the movie that nobody can pronounce his last name. Honestly, I'm just not even gonna try because I don't think that gag is funny. Coming from someone who has their name mispronounced all the time, I don't find any humor in it anymore. Maybe if your last name is Smith, hey, comment down below. If your name is like never mispronounced, comment down below and be like, hey, I still find it funny. Number one, you're wrong, and number two, it's a stupid gag, and it's a recurring gag, and those are fantastic if they're done right. It's clearly not done right. Matthew Broderick is brought in because he's been studying earthworms and the effects nuclear radiation has had on earthworms. So they want to get him in because they believe that this lizard is nuclear. They believe it's a nuclear lizard. Nick's girlfriend there, Matthew Broderick's girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend, rather, ex-wife, I can't remember, getting higher and higher on the food chain in a news network, and she's a reporter. And she's going out with a guy that I used to think was Kramer from Seinfeld, so I'm just going to call him Kramer from now on.
What the hell is that?
Him and I'm guessing his wife or girlfriend, I'm pretty sure they're romantically involved, I can't remember. I want to call them the comedic relief for this, but there's like 8 characters that are comedic relief. Start having more than one comedic relief character. It's, you can tell your movie's kind of headed down the wrong path, especially with something that's almost... I would almost compare this movie to Ghostbusters, honestly, for some reason, because I think if we had an enduring cast like the original Ghostbusters, and there was only like one really comedic relief character and like a straight man and like all the rest of it, but they're all still going, you know, they can all bounce off each other still. Maybe just hire comedians, good comedians, and maybe that would have made the movie a little better. I don't know, because this script is kind of ridiculous and the plot lines are kind of ridiculous. They come into contact with one another again, Matthew Broderick's character and his wife or ex-girlfriend, I can't remember. They end up meeting back up, they end up hitting it off kind of again and hanging out the rest of the movie with the French character. Can't remember his name whatsoever, and he's the best character in the entire movie because he is kind of believable. He's sent over by the French government to figure out like what the frig is going on and kill the lizard if he needs to, if he can, or figure out like how to stop it eventually. They come in contact with Godzilla with a really stupid thing where they feed it a bunch of fish. Nick comes out and eats the fish, and Matthew Broderick does this stupid thing where he gets blown away by it breathing. and stuff like that. And then the chase ensues throughout the city, and this is one of the biggest issues I have with this, because it is tackled a little bit in the Jurassic Park book, which if you have not read that, I would highly recommend you read the first Jurassic Park book. But it is tackled, and also in a lot of paleontology and stuff like that, that a cold-blooded creature can't move with the same kind of agility and prolonged agility as a warm-blooded creature, which is why I'm so irked that Godzilla is, number one, cold-blooded in this, because Godzilla is not cold-blooded. Godzilla is nuclear-powered. For all intents and purposes, Godzilla is warm-blooded, but not in this. No, they got the lizard storyline, and they're sticking with the lizard storyline. So the helicopters, the Apaches, chase him, or it, her, rather, through the city and try to take it out with some sidewinding missiles. They can't lock on because it's the same temperature as the buildings around it, which also makes zero sense, because wouldn't a massive animal like that like be curled up in the sewers trying to get warmer than its surroundings so that it had more? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it. I don't think they wanted me to think this deep about it, but it irks me. The creature crawls up on the side of, I think, the Empire State Building or the Chrysler Building. I can't remember. I don't know New York. Sue me. I don't care. And finally roars. This is not the Godzilla roar. This is an elephant that's maybe taken in some helium, maybe done a bit of drugs. Eventually they come to find out, Nick and his team go down and they look, and lo and behold, in Madison Square Garden, they've got, this creature has laid eggs. They figured out it was gravid, it was pregnant. They call it pregnant, which is another thing that really frustrates me, because if it is a lizard, it's not pregnant, it's gravid. I think I'm thinking way too deep about this. I don't think Matthew Broderick killed those two women for me to think this deeply about a knockoff Godzilla. They find it. The French guy, Napoleon Bonaparte, there brings his whole crew in because he's got like a paramilitary group in there, and they're like, okay, we're gonna rig some explosives or whatever. Well, then the creatures start to hatch, and this ensues with one of my favorite, probably my only favorite scene, my most favorite scene in the movie. I like this scene because it's kind of scary. There are a few really totally incorrect scenes of like comedy interspliced with this, because I feel like if you turn this into like almost a Sam Raimi kind of horror thing, you could have done really well with it. The creatures hatch, and it's a bunch of small Godzillas. Like, they look identical to the larger Godzilla. They're just only like 6 feet tall, and they just go around and start murdering all of these paramilitary guys, and it's fantastic. They eventually get out of there. A couple F-16s come in and bomb Madison Square Garden. All the eggs are dead, whatever. Well, then Big Mama gets back up, looks and sees that all her babies are dead, and then begins the chase around town. They get it on, I think, the Golden Gate Bridge. They bomb the Golden Gate Bridge. The suspension cables come down on top of it. They kill it, and Nick is there to see it breathe its last. And the funniest part of this movie is the fact that they thought they were going to get a sequel, because they have almost an end credit scene, Avengers style, where there's one remaining egg, and the egg hatches, and it's like, wow! It goes at the screen, or whatever. Really stupid. Matthew Broderick's bloodlust could not be satiated. With only 2 human lives and Godzilla, he had to murder one of the best Led Zeppelin songs of all time. All in all, this movie is a complete failure as to what Godzilla is. The only good thing to come from this movie is the animated series that followed it, which I will say is bomb. Here's the thing, I have nothing wrong with redesigning Godzilla. I have nothing wrong with the design of this one. A lot of people are like, oh, it's ugly or whatever, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of ugly, but it's unique, you know? It does not look like any Godzilla we've ever had. It looks more closer to a T-Rex than Godzilla does, because Godzilla stands very upright like a human, but this one kind of like leans over like a T-Rex. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with how it behaves. I'm okay with all of that. Just don't call it Godzilla. It's not Godzilla. Don't call it Godzilla. I'm gonna get angry. Do not call that thing Godzilla. That's Zilla. And the funniest part of all of this is that believe it's Toho, the OG Godzilla people, bought the rights to Zilla, and in Godzilla Final Wars, it has the quickest fight against the actual Godzilla, and that scene also introduced me to Sum 41 with We're All to Blame. Fantastic. Great song. I still listen to it to this day. If I were going to give a number score to Godzilla 1998, I would give it a 3 out of 10. If you changed the name to something else other than Godzilla and kind of hinted that it was in the same universe as Godzilla, I'd be okay with that. That might raise it to a 4. If you guys do want to watch it, I recommend watching it again. I mean, like, it's a bad movie to me in general. I don't feel like anybody was really there for it. I think Matthew Broderick gives a good performance, but the French guy seems very tired. Kramer and his girlfriend there. There's a lot of stuff they say. There's a lot of stuff they do that I just kind of want to put my fist through the TV every time that they're on screen, just about. So if they were out of the movie, I think it would be probably a 5 out of 10. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. I'm sure you will. Especially my good friend down there, the Wizard. Always looking out for your comments, buddy. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'm happy to be back. If you guys get tired, please pull over, give me a call, grab a hotel room, whatever you got to do to get home safely or to your destination safely. Extra couple minutes or hours driving are not worth your safety, your life, your wallet, your car, your cargo, your cats. It's not worth anything. Remember to always take the stairs. Keep that thing on you, and I'll see you in the next one.